Oklahoma Newser. This is an OU update. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Jason Kersey. Jason, West Virginia on Saturday comes to town, 11 o'clock start. Hate to even mention that because that's become such a sore spot for OU fans and coaches, players, all sorts of people. But
not us, though.
Not us. We're fine with 11. But West Virginia, maybe also a bit of an issue for people that like the Crimson. They throw it around a bunch. We saw how OU's secondary and defense in general struggled with Tulsa throwing it around a bunch. What's the level of concern amongst OU folks with the offense that West Virginia is going to throw out there?
Well, it's not going to be easy. It never is when you play Dana Holgorsen and his offense. He's one of the innovators of the air raid. He's really the guy who sort of spearheaded the effort to get the run more involved in the air raid, and he's done that very well throughout his career, not just at West Virginia, but at Oklahoma State and at Houston. And so it's always a concern when you go up against Dana Holgorsen's offense. And right now, West Virginia's playing really well. They've gotten back into the polls. They're 3-0. They're coming off a complete just rout of Maryland in a game I don't think anybody expected them to win like that. So it's definitely a tough challenge.
You know, obviously Oklahoma's had its interesting moments against West Virginia. That game, obviously, a couple years ago in Morgantown when Tavon Austin just went absolutely insane. Is in the memories of a lot of people. OU wins that game, but it's such a struggle defensively. Does West Virginia they don't have a Tavon Austin this year, I assume, but what kind of different challenges do you see them presenting to this OU defense?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest one that everybody's going to focus on, and rightly so, is looking back at what Tulsa did to OU and then looking forward to what West Virginia is going to try to do to OU. I think West Virginia's got some good receivers. Skylar Howard's been really good at quarterback. So obviously they can throw the ball around. And I think what people are going to assume is if Tulsa can do it, then West Virginia with the Big 12 talent certainly should be able to do it. However, I will say I think Tulsa's receivers are
big.
They're Big 12 talent receivers.
Yeah, very much so. Lastly, West Virginia, I think the other thing that people think about when they think about games against West Virginia, they remember the way that Samaje Perine dominated a year ago at Morgantown against West Virginia's defense. Could we see that type of run game against West Virginia again out of the Sooners, or is that offensive line so different it's really hard to predict?
Well, the offensive line is very different. They're not nearly as good as they were last year. They're not nearly as experienced. They're not nearly as big as they were last year. And so I think it would be tough to expect another performance like that out of Samaje Perine. But I could see him getting going. I mean, he got going against Tulsa some. West Virginia's defense, I think, is better than it was last year. But there's still, I think, plenty of reason to believe OU could have some success on the ground.
All right, thanks, Jason. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.